Printing money, interest, and inflation. Printing money or monetary expansion is the process by which a central bank increases the amount of money in its economy. Increasing money boosts an economy, but how is it done? The central bank buys financial assets from the commercial banks. It gives the banks cash as a consideration, and the banks can then lend out this money. As a result, the bank floats the economy with money, and money becomes cheaper, as an increase in the supply of a particular good automatically lowers its price. The truth is, the central banks have a simpler method for having an effect on money: the interest system. Interest is the cost of credit. If a loan is taken, interest is the price paid to whomever lends us the money. If money is deposited into a savings account, interest is our profit that the bank pays us. In other words, it is the profit made off of the loan that we have given to the bank. If the central bank decreases the base interest rate, this causes a decline in other interest rates: mortgages, loans, savings, and deposits. Interest is also influenced by risk perception. Inasmuch as a borrower is considered more secure, the interest that he is charged will be lower. At the beginning of the 80s, the base interest rate in the United States was 15%, and within 1 year it declined to zero. This happened in a number of places around the world. As a result, money became cheaper for everyone. When interest rates are low, it's a good idea to borrow money and consume, but it's not a good idea to save. Up until the crisis, a decline in interest rates stimulated growth in all areas of the economy. Private consumption grew because it was preferable to borrow rather than to save. Commercial investment expanded since it was more worthwhile to borrow money, build factories, and pay salaries. Governments could borrow money cheaply. Cheap money also stimulates trade between countries, which sounds great but also has some negative consequences. When money is cheap and demand increases, prices can rise. This is known as inflation, the great big monster of the economy. Inflation is a rise in prices accompanied by an erosion of purchasing power. Inflation erodes the value of our money. People rush out to buy before the prices rise and even hoard goods. Salaries rise and competition is harmed. The solution is raising interest rates, which makes money more expensive. Another risk of cheap money is the formation of bubbles, especially in the real estate and stock markets. Loans are taken to finance consumption and debts are accrued. Mortgages are taken to purchase houses for residency and investment purposes. Demand rises and prices rise as well. Stock market investors and investors in financial assets are high risk since safe savings are not profitable. As a result, prices of real estate and stocks generally rise without any connection to their true value. A torrent of cheap money caused the purchase and construction of houses in the decade preceding the 2008 financial crisis and caused an enormous real estate and credit bubble. In places where demand and growth were strong, the bubbles grew to exceptional proportions. Ireland and Spain are obvious examples. Upon the collapse of the markets and economies, it became apparent that even the governments took part in the cheap money party and incurred enormous debts.